Aye.
Welcome to the New Tracks Drivers Meeting. If you have not punched this, I'm not going to have you do it now, but as a friendly reminder, when we have these meetings, to clock in to training. That you want to clock out of doing your route and then clock into training. And if you don't know how to do that, talk to Douglas. Douglas is going to talk a little bit about Paylocity and when to work, of how you can get your schedules if you're not getting your schedules either. It is so important to be looking at your schedules. Every Friday when I push that button and you get that submit button, please look to see if you've got community events, any events that you are not aware of that I might have put on your route just because we're busy. And there's been, last week there was 3 shifts that didn't get done because of just missing that on your schedules. So please be looking at your schedules. And if you're not getting those notifications, please see Douglas, because that is how we communicate, and that is how we know that shifts are going out. And Scott, he does all the community stuff, and we need to make sure that those community events are going out as well. So please look at your schedules. And if for some reason you can't do a midday, you need to be putting that on when to work, then I won't schedule you for that day. Okay? So we have that central dispatch. We did hire a nighttime dispatcher. So starting April 1st, Dorothy will be our nighttime dispatcher. So she will be, instead of calling Scott and texting Scott and, so Scott can have a life, we want Scott to be able to have some fun too. So we're just growing, and that's exciting. So Dorothy is going to be our nighttime dispatcher Monday through Thursday. And then we have the admin team that do the weekend shifts that we do every once a month. So so Dorothy's going to do that. Cleaning buses. We've had a lot of people sick in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So please be disinfecting, using that spray. We notice that people aren't using that spray as much. This is a good time to get that spray back out and be spraying after every route, after every community event, before you come in. And if you don't know what I'm talking about spraying and disinfecting your buses, because you're new, please see Reedy or Mike Black, and they will show you what kind of spray you should be using for the buses, because it does help, so you don't spread those germs. So please be doing that. If you want a name tag, we do have name tags for New Tracks, yay, that we can start using. So if you would like a name tag, please see Reedy, and they will make you a name tag. And they are magnetic, so you will not ruin your shirts. But if you want a name tag, please see Reedy for that. DVIs. I'm not going to go over this in depth, but please leave the one in the bus prior, so you're not bringing these in every day. So in case you were stopped, DOT, you need to have one from the prior day in your bus. So tomorrow, you would be bringing in today's. Does that make sense? That you're not bringing in the one that you're doing today, but you'll be bringing the one from Friday. So you'd be bringing in Fridays today. Okay? At the end of the day, yes. And make sure, because you're only checking oil Tuesday, Thursdays, that you are checking oil on Tuesday and Thursdays. We've had some buses that have been over oil changes, so you have to. I mean, it's DOT regulated that you check oil on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then also the mileage. Be making sure that you're checking that mileage and putting it on the sheets as well. Okay, does everybody know that? Okay. So that's with the DVIs, name tags, cleaning buses, and then when to work. Okay, old times. Please, because like community events, You don't need to be punching in 15 to 30 minutes ahead of time. On community events, the time they're allotted in there for when you need to punch in and get out to your bus and do a pre-trip. So please be mindful to that. And also the sub-drivers really look at the times. So if you see on when to work, because I know the full-time drivers do their routes every day, if you're needing extra time or the times are wrong, please come see me so I can change that time on when to work. So say Mike has given you 2 extra people and now you need to start at 5:45 a.m. instead of 6 a.m., please come and tell me that so I can put that in when to work so sub-drivers and everybody is on the same page. Okay? Does that make sense?
Specifically for 281.
That was, I know, that's, I gotta remember to change it up, because she leaves from her house and I need to add 30 minutes, I know.
What I would also suggest to Greta is maybe on the 281 book, put a note right in the front that says this route starts at 5:30.
Yeah, but I know, I need to put that on when to work because people aren't gonna remember that, so I have to be better at that. So yes, I made a mistake, sorry, I will make sure that I get that on when to work. Okay, anniversaries. We have quite a few drivers that have anniversaries. We have Kenji Johnson, who has been here for a year. I have a certificate for you, so I'll get that to you. And then your pin is coming, so thank you, Kenji, for the 1 year. Lisa Putnam, she is 2-year anniversary, and she's off getting a cake right. She's bringing another cake, so we have 2 drivers that have anniversaries that brought cake in today. And so Lisa's one of them. She's been here 2 years, so when you see her, give her a 2-year shout out. Dave Balke, do I see Dave? He's been here 3 years. He's one of our community drivers that does community, so when you see him, you know, say happy anniversary. Don Braun, he's been here 3 years. Thank you, Don, for your 3 years of service. And we have Ken Pierce. Ken's been here 4 years. Thank you, Ken. And Mark Johnson isn't here today, but he has been here 7 years, and he has done also a lot for us for those 7 years. So when you see him, tell him happy anniversary. And we have Terry Thomas, who has been here 10 years, and her husband brought in a cake to surprise her. So your cake is up here, and so he brought in a cake for you, so I got the privilege of seeing him this morning. So happy anniversary, Terry. He calls her the queen. That's awesome. Okay, well that's all for me. I'm going to turn it over to Reedy. She's going to do some passenger assistance.
I also wanted to just add on to the whole cleaning your bus thing. When you guys clean in there, remember to clean your windows. Especially if you have clients that touch your windows all the time, they can get pretty grody. And then wipe down, take one of these sanitizing wipes and wipe off your steering wheel. Think about how many things you touch in a day, and then you grab your steering wheel and it gets all gunky. So just wipe that off. And then also, don't forget to sweep and wash your floors at least once a week. I know some of you guys do it more than once a week, but you know what? I love that. I love that you guys take care, but just remember, like Patty said, there's been a lot of illness that has kind of been on the uptick throughout all of you guys, so we want to make sure that everybody stays healthy. Okay?
Since Mark isn't here, we have an open shift tonight for vocal lessons. If anybody wants to drive tonight from 2:30 to about 9:15, would be wonderful. So if you can drive, please come and see me. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, now I mixed up my... Okay, we're gonna talk about passenger assistance today. And I know that is should be second nature to you guys. Passenger assistance is so important. And hang on 1 minute, I just screwed up my stuff. So of all the things that you guys do, the way that you interact with your clients and your riders, that should be on your top of your priority list. Make sure that you're taking care of your riders and making them feel happy. This might be the only time that they can get out into the world. And it's very important that they have a good ride, a good, safe, and happy ride, coming into work and making that good old money that they love to spend. So you have to remember that your riders, they're more than their disability. You know, sometimes you look at somebody in a wheelchair and you're like, oh no, how am I going to do that wheelchair? Think about the person inside the wheelchair, okay? They have interests, just like you and I. They might like, well, basketball right now is big, so they might like basketball, wrestling, movies. You know, talk to them, ask them, get to know them. Even if you're a sub driver, you know, you can still get to know your clients and just say, hey, how's it going today? It looks like you have a Viking t-shirt on. Are you a big Viking fan? You know, take the time to really talk to your riders and make them feel like you're happy to have them on your bus. Remember that communication, we talk about communication a lot. Communication is key. You need to try to become a good, even if you're not good at, you know, communicating with people and stuff, just take a few little points. You're in a position to be in control of the different obstacles on your bus, okay? And before they come you can control the obstacles before they become problems. And you can find openings in that conversation to be effective in that communicating. And it can work to help solve problems that might come up while you're on the bus with them. If you know about your people, then you know how to communicate with them and solve any kind of problems that they may have. You want to just try to make everybody around you feel better. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. Don't make them mad or sad that you think, oh, okay, come on the bus. Make them feel happy to be on the bus and have a good environment on your bus. It just changes not only their world, but doesn't it make it a lot easier for you guys to drive people around when they're happy and everybody's getting along, and it's just an easier thing for everybody around you, including you. So you're bringing somebody on that's in a wheelchair. Make eye contact with them when you talk to them. You know, just say, how's it going today, Doug? Are you having a good day today?
There's cake. I'm having a great
day. You should be smiling. You know, be alert to the person. They may be in a crabby mood. So that's going to be an obstacle that you're going to need to tackle. But be an active listener also. If they're trying to tell you that something is wrong with their, you know what, I didn't get the Captain Crunch that I wanted this morning, or I didn't get to wear the shirt that I wanted to wear this morning. You know, and then you can kind of adjust how you communicate with that person then. You know, if you want them to sit in a chair, I don't want to, I'm having a bad day. Adjust your communication. Well, you know what, I think your coat that you have on looks great. You look very nice today. Let's have a seat. You might have to show them. If they have a hard time thinking about problem solving and thinking about what they're supposed to do, you might have to show them how to sit down in a chair. You might have to use simple words. Don't use those big long words. I know in the office we always try to use big long words to, yeah, Mike, that's you. Always trying to stump each other and think it's fun to say those. It's just good. Instead of saying, what's a good word?
Ambulate down the aisle?
Yeah, instead of ambulating down the aisle, let's walk down to your seat. Simple words, simple directions, work the best. And then after you talk to them, check for comprehension. Are they getting what you're saying? Usually if you're down at their level or you're looking them right in the eye, you can see if they're understanding what you're trying to say to them. You can understand if they're comprehending. Maybe they're just not getting it. Maybe they're just like, I don't understand what you want me to do. So help them to comprehend it. You might have to put it in some more different words for them. When you're providing assistance, it's important to know that you are dealing with that person, all right, and not the disability. So give them the courtesy of rejecting your help. And what I mean by that is, don't just go up to somebody, come on, let's get on the bus. Let's hurry up, come on, we gotta get there. You always need to ask first. Ask them, hey, how's it going? You ready to get on the bus? All right, let's go. You'll probably get more, they'll probably want to do it for you more if you ask them rather than tell them or try to push them into some kind of act, okay? Get out of your seat. I did a bunch of ride-alongs last month, and the one thing that I noticed was that a lot of the drivers you guys aren't getting out of your seats. And to me, that is one important way that you can start that good communication. You are actually saying, here, I'm right here, I'm greeting you, I'm helping you up the steps if you need it. If you need anything, I'm right here by you. You're not sitting in your seat going, all right, come on, let's get upstairs. Also, you're leaving them to maybe go too fast. I know there's clients that love to get on the bus right away. And even just being at the top of the stairs can slow them down a little bit. They're not going to trip going up the stairs and hurt themselves, okay? So get out of your seats, and that's another way that you can follow them to their chairs and their seats, and you're going to make sure that they got their seatbelt buckled, okay? I know a lot of times we get in a hurry and we stay in our seats and we know that they're going to get on and we know that they can put their seat on, but before they can even get situated in their seat, you're like taking off. Take your time. I know there's a time crunch and you need to get to the next house by quarter after. You know what? Safety has to be in the back of your mind, and if they're not even sitting down yet and you're taking off, boom, there they go. And making sure that their seatbelts are secure, that is so important. You put your seatbelt on before you start going in the bus. Make sure they start with their seatbelts also. If you get out of the bus or out of your seat to help them, that way you can ensure that if they're having a problem with the seatbelt, that you're right there and you can help them. Just remember that safety is extremely important. So we always want to put safety first. The safety of our clients is utmost. We talk about defensive driving and how important that is for us and for our clients and for the people around us. So safety inside your bus starts with you guys, and you need to pay attention to your riders. Be there for them. Treat them as if they were your mom or dad or brother and sister. How would you, or put yourself in their place. How would you want to be treated? You know, you don't want to be handled gruffly or anything. You want to be greeted with a smile, even though you're not a morning person. Even just a smile is good. And I know that some of you guys are good at joking around and everything, which is a plus. Because usually in the morning I'm like, hi. And I don't want to talk. If you can joke around with them and be lighthearted, it's just going to put a smile on their face and help them to start their day also. Okay? Everybody got that? I know a lot of you guys do it already, and it's great. Our clients love to ride in with you. We hear it every day, especially when I go out on these ride-alongs. The clients tell me, "Oh, I love my driver. My driver's the best." I'm like, "Oh, he can't be the best because they already told me that this guy's the best." So it's not a competition, but it is great to hear that all of you guys are the best. Okay? So now I just want to talk a little bit about wheelchairs. And again, I know you guys know all about wheelchairs and we drill it into your head, but it's good to review it again. I'm going to ask the assistance of my lovely Patty and Michael to help me when they can. So the first thing that you need to do when you have a wheelchair coming up to you, you want to prepare that passenger for what's going to happen, right? You're going to be bringing them onto the lift. So you have somebody sitting in a chair.
You want me to say?
And of course, this is not it. Can you fit in that? I just mean
You calling fast?
it's just a skinny chair. That's what I meant. It's just a skinny Oh, see? Good job.
Yeah. After I get out of the chair. That's why I'm under the stairs.
All right. So you come up to them, their staff brings them out to your bus, and you're like, "Hi, Doug, how's it going, Smile? How you doing?
I still want cake.
You want some cake today?" You look a little like you should do some exercise. No, I'm just kidding. Meet them. Tell them, "Well, are you ready to get on the bus to go to work?"
I am ready to
All
go.
right, let's do it then. I'm gonna get behind you here,
Careful.
and I'm going to, get you onto the bus.
Okay.
Tell them what you're doing. Oh, sure.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
I can move me.
He's too heavy.
I'm too
I can't-
fat.
I can't move him. He's too heavy.
The lift is
It's only 1,000-pound lift. Sorry. So talk to your passenger as you move them. We talked about this before. Always just go, "Are you ready to get on the bus?" And, "Oh, is your foot doing okay? It looks like it's, do you need to put it up on the things?"
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let's get you on the lift. I'm gonna put your brakes on. Talk to them. Tell them what you're doing so that they feel comfortable being on that lift with you guys, okay? I'm okay with you riding up on the lift as long as it's not an electric wheelchair and, or oversized wheelchair. A little puny wheelchair like this. And as you know, is this a good wheelchair to bring on your bus and to tie down? Why not? Yeah. It's not very sturdy, is it? And how do we know that? Yep. And how do we know it's a transfer wheelchair? The wheels. All four of these wheels are small. You want to have a big tire on your wheelchair like this and a small one in the front. That's your standard wheelchair. These will collapse if you tie somebody down in there. So if they bring them out in a wheelchair like this, and you're going to transfer them into a seat. And since on that subject, when you're transferring somebody into a seat, please do not do it by yourself. Ask the staff to help you. We don't want you guys to have to be lifting and hurting your back and wrenching your back or hurting something trying to transfer this person into a seat, okay? So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what the staff people are there for. Make your movements smooth and gentle. Maybe I will have you hold this tag. Sorry. Just as you would like an ambulatory person. So, just gonna be moving very slowly and make your movements nice and smooth. You're not gonna go, okay, I can't quite get you on this lift. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You know, you want it to be smooth. You don't want to jostle your person around too much. And remember that Doug may think that this wheelchair is a part of is an extension of his body. So don't be leaning, oh, I gotta wait, no, I'm just gonna lean on your wheelchair. How's it going, Doug? You know, you don't want to lean on their wheelchairs, or have respect for the wheelchair, okay? It's an extension of their body. They love their wheelchairs, and they expect you to be nice to it. You know, don't try to kick with your feet, the brakes, okay? Have respect for it, and that includes putting the tie downs on. You know, they don't want you to scratch their wheelchair. They want it to look nice, especially if it's a brand new wheelchair. Be aware of that. Thank you. So the wheelchair itself, there might be something wrong with it, like maybe some of the spokes or maybe the brakes don't work. So you need to be aware of that, and you want it to be safe for that person to be moved in it and ride around in it. So if you've noticed that something is wrong, fill out a wheelchair repair request. Say that 5 times fast. Fill this out, bring it into Doug. He will get the ball rolling, let the staff know at the different sites. And if it's bad, if you don't feel that this wheelchair is safe, then you need to let us know. We can have them either get put in another wheelchair to ride in, or they have 5 days still?
Usually it's a week.
About a week to get a new wheelchair or to fix this existing one, okay? So we give them some time to do that. Doesn't always work, but we try. All right, so remember on a wheelchair, thank you. There is a center of gravity situation that you need to remember on a wheelchair, okay? So when a wheelchair is unoccupied, the center of gravity is just above and forward of the rear axle. So it's about right here, right above the armrest. When it's occupied, or actually it's down below here, when it's occupied, it's right above the armrest. So it raises up when you have somebody in that chair, that center of gravity, okay? So you say, well, really, why do I need to know that? It's a science class. This is a transportation deal, right? With Kate.
Yeah. Okay.
So that means when you drive, you want to drive smooth and steady and even, which means you don't go racing around a corner or taking a curve too fast. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be throwing the body of that person back and forth in the wheelchair. And some people might have very fragile bodies that you're transporting. They might bruise easily. So if you're pushing them up against these armrests or whatever, you could bruise them. So you want to be really careful about how you drive. They may feel their center of gravity if you go too fast or if you're going around. They're going to feel like they're going to tip over. Even though you have them secured tightly, there's still that movement of, oh, I'm going to kind of tip over. I'm kind of moving around here a little bit. And that goes the same for people that are sitting in the seats, ambulatory people. You know, you go around a corner or something too fast and they're going like this, you're going too fast. It's that center of gravity that is pushing them and pulling them. So just slow down. Yes, Dad.
What was the electric wheelchair?
I'll talk about that in a minute. So just be aware that they have that whole feeling of tipping over in their wheelchair. So you need to make sure that they feel secure while you're driving. Yes, Jerome?
I have a girl who normally has a electric wheelchair, but they use it putting a regular manual in quite often. That problem, but she literally like goes like this in that chair, like moving back slowly. Should that be okay to have her that way?
Does she do that in the electric wheelchair?
No, when they replace it with a manual for the
Okay.
they put her chair like this the whole ride. I get up,
Try to push her back.
push back, and she falls like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules on that.
Jerome was saying that he has a rider that usually rides in an electric wheelchair, but sometimes, I believe when it's being fixed or something, they put her in a regular wheelchair. And so then she just kind of slumps when she's in that regular wheelchair. There's only so much you can do with that because we can't like put a belt or anything around them. It's called restraining them, and you can't restrain a rider. But the most that you can do is just make sure that they're secure, you know, and every time you stop, try to straighten her back up and make sure she's okay with that. Okay? Here, Rhonda.
What about, got a client that got a new chair, and he's not positioned right in his new chair, would you fill out the?
I would put it on a communication.
Started to lean over.
Yeah, I would fill out a communication report and just say, hey, they got a new chair, he's not sitting right in it, and then that way we can get it to the staff and let them know how he's sitting in it, and then they can come out and adjust it.
And that would be the communication, or that wouldn't be the.
Not the wheelchair repair request. That would just be your communication report that we have. Okay? Good question. All right. Also, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the season that we're coming into is pothole season, I call it. So the roads, they're already getting beat up. So you just know they're going to get worse. So always know that when somebody's sitting in a chair, especially in a wheelchair, and you go over that bump, they feel that shock of that bump more, especially in the back of the bus. Well, if you guys have ever sat in the back of the bus when it's been moving, you can feel every little bump. So I know that potholes can get pretty big and you can't avoid them because your bus sometimes will fall into them. But try to avoid them if you can. And if you can't avoid them, go over them slowly. So let the bus try to absorb that shock of the pothole and not the person, not the rider. Okay? Give them a comfortable ride so they don't get sore just from riding to and from work. All right, we're going to talk about, no, you can stay there, Doug. You're being such a good guy. When you're bringing a wheelchair onto the bus, how do you bring it on? Right. Do you go like this? Bring it on like this? Come on, let's go. No, you don't want to do it that way. For one thing, you don't have any control over your wheelchair that way because you're bent over and trying to pull them on. Plus, you're going to be bringing them on so they're facing into the bus, which is not correct. Thank you, Vanna. You want to bring them on backwards. Where Dave is sitting, or Mike is sitting, no offense, where is the heaviest part of the wheelchair?
Where the driver and
Yep. Or like Mike, or what is your name? Oh, I got your name tag. Like Douglas said, my butt or my back. That's where the heaviest part of the wheelchair is going to be. So you want to have that closest. Plus, if you stand with them on the lift, that's where all the weight is. You don't want that weight on the outside of the lift. For one thing, if something happens and you guys fall backwards, boom. What's the lift go up to about right here? That could be quite a fall. Plus, what was I going to say?
Hard on the lift.
Thank you. It's hard on the lift. That's right. It's hard on the lift. you want to bring them on backwards. You have more control up there and you have all that weight closer to the inside of the lift, okay? Make sure that you're talking to your client the whole time they're going up the lift and saying, all right, we're going up, let's go, you know, I'll try not to put you up into the sky or joke around with them, you know, talk to them. Make sure that you set the brakes and have them hold on to the arms of the lift if you can. Make them feel stable and safe, if they can. Some of them can. And then, if you have an electric wheelchair, which I don't know if you guys noticed that wheelchair in the break room that Lisa donated to us to help us. I wanted to start using it in training once I could get it cleaned up and everything. Because I think it's important to learn how to deal with an electric wheelchair. So with the electric wheelchair, you want to make sure that you turn it off when you're going up and down on the lift. You're in control of it when we go into the bus, okay? Also, when you guys, on a cold day or whatever, and you have a lot of people on your bus to tie down, it's not the parents or the staff at the house, it's not their job to close up your doors for your lift. You bring that bus, that wheelchair on, put the brakes on, even put them in position and put the front tie downs on, and then go around and close your own door. That's your job. Parents, and you don't know what's happening with them, maybe they have a bad back or a bad shoulder, you don't want to injure them more. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go over how to tie down a wheelchair. So remember, when you have, you want to just like hold this up right here, so that was on the bottom, and that's on the top. So you bring the wheelchair on, and I makeshifted a little thing like a tray. I'm so good at art. You put it on. Why are you laughing, Laura? So, what tie downs are you going to put on first? The front. And why do we put the front tie downs on? Correct. Or if your bus gets hit, it's going to bring the bus back like that. So if you have your tie downs on first, you can just simulate it. And you're also, that makes so that it holds down the chair, because if it's going to tip, it's going to go backwards. The front tie downs are going to hold it down, okay? Find that welded spot, and then tighten them, hand tighten them with your hands. That's what these little things are. Little side handles are, okay?
And the front should be inside or outside?
Outside, correct. And then you're going to make your circle, right? You're going to start by the window, and you're going to go make a circle around your wheelchair. So then Patty's going to come around to the back. She's going to put the tie down, simulating putting the tie downs on. Again, inside pucks in the back.
To a welded spot.
At a 45-degree angle if you can. Again, that center of gravity that that person is going to feel in their wheelchair, they're going to feel more stable if they can. You can get that higher angle down and pull them down to the floor. Okay? Then you're going to put their shoulder belt on. All right. So if Patty goes ahead and tries to put that shoulder belt on, I want you guys to remember that if you have a tray on, you're not going to put that around the front of this tray, are you? Because what's going to happen is if you have to stop quickly, that is going to, that tray is gonna go right into them, into their stomach, and you don't want that. You're not gonna put it on top of the tray, because then it's gonna be up here. And what good is it gonna do up here? You want it down by their, as close to their hip bones as possible, okay? So how do you do that with a tray on there? How do you do that with a tray on there, Patty?
Well, you're gonna undo the tray a little bit and you're going to move it out so you can get that
Yep,
shoulder strap around their shoulder as best as you can and around their pelvic
yep.
area.
Usually these trays are fastened by Velcro in the back or a buckle. Just loosen that up, pull the tray out, bring their shoulder belt down, and you're going to put one. What I usually do is I undo that. Do this one, undo this right here. And, okay. Put it on the foot mommy on top of the thing. Okay?
Into the groove.
So, what you're gonna do, this is on here, you're gonna come above on this side, right? And with Patty's, you're gonna come underneath. And you're gonna marry those two pieces of seatbelt right there. So now it's,
Oh no, the tray fell off.
don't break my tray. Okay, does that make sense? So you're gonna come from the back one, you're gonna come down this way. From the front or on the other side, you're gonna go up underneath the tray. So that you can get this seatbelt right next to their body. And you're not gonna have it around the tray. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Remember, when you put the seatbelt shoulder belt on, sorry, I made it this morning, sorry. Put the shoulder belt on your shoulder. That's what a shoulder belt is, okay? I notice a lot of people will just put it underneath their arm. And when I ask, why do you do that? It goes over their shoulder. Well, during transport, they just put it under their arm anyway, so I just am gonna put it under their arm. You guys should always, it doesn't matter if they do it themselves and they do it themselves. That is not what we do. We put it over their shoulder where it's more supportive, okay? So just because they fix it the way they want it after you get back into your seat and start driving, you need to do it the right way to start out with, okay? All right. Yes?
We have one client who, if you don't put it under her arm, she'll put it around her neck. I mean, she's not just moving it under her arm. Because I've done that, I'll put it this way, and I will look back, and she's got it like that.
Okay.
So,
Then you need to write up a communication report. Let us know that so that we can work with that client. Maybe, seriously, we don't want them choking themselves or hanging themselves for sure. But, maybe we can work with that client, that rider, we can work with the staff and they can explain what that shoulder belt is for. Okay? All right. So voila, you have your chair. Good job. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. I know I'm smelling the pizza. Oh yeah, and remember, you need web extensions on your bus in case you don't have a good spot to put the tie on. You can make your own loop. Okay. All right, I smell pizza. Okay.
Not quite yet. Rainey, thank you, training. I just want to remind people from an organizational perspective how important wheelchair securement is. Next to distracted driving, wheelchair securement is our second largest point of emphasis and point of risk as an organization. And I know a number of you have seen the videos of the mental mobility regarding the news report that was done and how people, the tips involved with that. And one thing I always like to remind people is that if you're in a wheelchair and you're non-communicative, and someone is secure in your wheelchair, and you realize that they haven't secured you properly, but you have no way to communicate that, how scary a feeling it must be sitting there in a wheelchair that's not secure, knowing that at a abrupt stop, they will likely hit back. So think about how that person must feel. And that's why I recommend, as you're doing your wheelchair securement, as you secure your front 2 spots, let them know that. I've secured your front wheelchairs, now I'm moving to your rear, to increase that communication with them and give them that peace of mind that they are secure in their wheelchair. So I think that's very important for us to remember the importance of the wheelchair securement. Lisa, since you were here, congratulations on 2 years and thank you for bringing it in. The last thing for me is, I know a number of you have been wondering how Dave is doing. And we've been in communication pretty regularly, both with Dave and his wife, and he's given us full permission to talk about his condition right now. Unfortunately, his cancer has progressed fairly rapidly, and he is currently in the hospital. Their goal right now is to be able to get him back home in the near to medium future, and then take one step at a time from that point. He does want to express to everyone how meaningful NuTrax, his co-workers, and the people that he's provided transportation to are to him. Appreciates the love, the prayers, and the thoughts that we all have for him. He is accepting visitors, but his wife Amy wants to make sure that the visitors, that he's able to rest and sleep as much as possible too. So if you are wanting to visit him, as of right now, I would start with reaching out to Patty or Mike or myself, and then we can communicate with his wife Amy to see whether it's a good time or when good times to come see him would be. So please continue to think about him, and he does appreciate all the thoughts and prayers coming from us here. So with that, any other questions organizationally before we start with?
What are you gonna
He's over at St. John's. So.
do? You want
And the last thing, maybe the most important thing, they have set up a really good Caring Bridge site. So to get the most current, accurate information about how he is, I recommend you go to the Caring Bridge site. They've done a really good job of keeping that updated and letting people know what's going on with Dave. That's the best way to know the most accurate current information. A Caring Bridge website. So you just search up caringbridge.com and you put Dave's name in there, and then when there's updates too, you'll get an email or a message that has been updated, and they are doing a great job of keeping that updated. And we can put maybe that site up in the dispatch area for people that want access to that as well.
I can put it on the electronic bulletin board.
Douglas said he'll put on the electronic board. So. All right. Thank you.
Well, in the last few moments, I'll try to be brief. I don't have much time, and that's okay. I'd like to cover when to work notifications. That would be helpful. Thank you. So when to work. The app has many ways to tell you what's going on with your schedule. So by default, you always get an email. A problem with that is if your email changes, you won't get notifications. Sometimes your personal email tends to block when to work emails because it gets a little bit spammy. So you'll find emails from when to work in your junk folder. So please check those if you're not getting that. Another way is to download the app to your phone. We were looking at an Apple right now, but it's similar for an Android phone. That's what the app looks like. And you can change how the app behaves on your phone. So by default, it doesn't do anything. It won't give a little beep or red little circle that something's gone wrong, something's changed in your schedule. You have to change the app to notify you on your phone. So to do that, there is, usually this is your landing page, the dashboard. There's these little, in the bottom right-hand corner, there are these 3 dots. It says More. You see New Tracks. And it's push notifications and email, text notifications. So you can choose either of those. We'll start with emails and text. I want to do it. We're going to do push notifications. So push notifications, you can, by default, all these sliders are off. So you have to click them and turn them on if you would like to see when you like your phone to tell you when a schedule is published, there's a change to it, your time off is approved, and at the bottom, this is about a month old, they have automatic shift reminders. So you can choose whether you get a reminder an hour before your shift starts or a day before your shift starts. You can turn that on and it will send you an email or text depending on your preferences. So the emails, you put in your email and you put your text in if you want to do that, and it gives you little instructions. So if you get confused, you can reference that, or you can come and I will help you on your phone. One final thing is, after turning these things on in your app on when to work on your phone, sometimes your phone will say, you need to authorize this in your settings. So most phones are protected, so they don't let any app do whatever it wants. So when you turn these sliders on, like tell me when my schedule changes, it's going to throw up a thing and say, hey, I need you to go to your settings. And usually for most phones, it's that thing that looks like a gear, and you need to find the program on your list of apps. Boy, I really have a lot of apps. And then you find the when to work. It's right above the White Castle app, and then you turn on what notifications is. So it's the notifications thing for folks on the Apple, on Android. It's something similar. And what they're talking about is what you let the phone do. So will it show up on your lock screen? Will it show a little banner? Will it make a sound? Will it keep a little red dot that something's happened? You turn that on in your settings. If you need help with that, come see me. I'll be happy to help you. Because our goal is to have you know the minute something changes on your shift, which happens often in our day-to-day operations. That is it. If anyone has any questions, please see me. Are there any general questions? If you have specifics to your situation, come see me after the cake.
Okay, let's have all the anniversary people go first.
Patty said I have all the anniversary people. Please come up and get your pizza and cake. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Terry, for the cake.